King Arthur Legend of the Sword is directed by Guy Ritchie and it stars Charlie Hunnam as King Arthur himself. You guys know the classic tale of King Arthur. You have this peasant who pulls Excalibur from the stone, and because of this he's the only person who is able to control that sword, kinda Thor style. But in this movie he is recruited by a rebel militia who is trying to overthrow the king, who is portrayed by Jude Law. Really the only reason I was looking forward to this film at all was because of Guy Ritchie. I really think that he is a talented director and he can take subpar films like the second Sherlock Holmes movie and turn it into an enjoyable, fun movie. Unfortunately, he was not able to do that with this film. In fact, this is a terrible movie. You know those subpar, just like flat out bad movies like The Seventh Son, The Last Witch Hunter, and like Snow White and the Huntsman? You know those just bad fantasy films? That's a majority of this movie. And that was by far my biggest problem with this movie. It is tonally everywhere. Sometimes you have that fun Guy Ritchie feel to it, but then more times than not, you have that Seventh Son feel to it. To where a majority of this film is just this loud, bloated, messy CGI, to where like all the action scenes in this movie try to have that Guy Ritchie feel, and there's all that slow, fast mode that we've come to know from him. Sometimes that really works. I actually like that fight in Sherlock Holmes where he does use that slow motion, fast motion thing. But in this movie, it doesn't work at all. In fact, him doing that was more of a hindrance to this film because, as I said, it's tonally everywhere. And it didn't help either that I didn't give any sorts of craps about these characters. Performance-wise, everybody does fine. Nobody's bad in this movie, but the problem is, again, these characters are so poorly written, I don't care about any of them. Especially King Arthur. His growing up and him coming of age is a freaking montage. A well-edited montage, mind you, but a montage nonetheless. There's a female character known as the Mage in this movie, and she can control, like, animals and things like that, but she was just the exposition machine, and when she wasn't delivering exposition, she was the Ex Machina machine, to where wherever the plot needed her, she'll be there. What was really frustrating about this film is there's a good story in there. You have this guy who gets recruited by this rebel group, essentially, and they're like, hey, you can control Excalibur. Help us overthrow this king and stop his relentless tirade. But this film doesn't do that good story any sort of favors. It's loud, it's messy, it's totally inconsistent. I don't care about a single character in this entire movie, and it's just overall just forgettable. It's just flat out a bad movie. So did you guys see King Arthur Legend of the Sword? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews and related things. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.